think we got everybody. 14, I counted.
Yeah.
All right. My name is Henry Walston, and I am going to be your tour guide today. So I'd like to welcome you to Vollis, Simpson, Whirligig Park, and Wilson, which y'all don't live too far away. Y'all from Wake Forest Baptist Church, I understand.
That's right.
Okay, good. All right, well, let's start up here. I want to show you something. You see this red star here? All right, there are about 4 red stars all around the perimeter of the park. So if y'all ever come back here at night, there's several buttons. I'll show you when we walk over here. And you can mash that button, and all the up lights go out, and these high intensity lights come on. And if you stand behind the red star, everything glows. Because Vollis cut up highway signs. He cut out stars and all kind of things. You can look at that one right there. See those yellow and blue stars? And if you look on the main Whirligig, you'll see a bunch of reflectors. And what Vollis did on every Whirligig, he collected old highway signs, and he would cut out by hand little, things and attach them to the Whirligigs. And when the Whirligigs were in Lucama out in his field, there was no light out there at all. I mean, it was pitch black dark. And the teenagers would drive out that night and park and put on their high beam lights. And I mean, it was just a kaleidoscope of colors. And I mean, it's pretty amazing. And when we started on this project in 2010, we had 4 community meetings, and we asked the citizens of Wilson what they wanted to see in the park. And the #1 thing they wanted to see was the nighttime experience. So we did that. And it got so popular, it really became a problem for Vollis, because all the teenagers, they go out and drink beer and smoke marijuana and park.
And who knows what else.
And who knows what else. But they started calling it Acid Park.
Oh my goodness.
Vollis didn't like that. But anyway, that's the story. All right, let's walk over here. In Norfolk and comparison sundry other places. But when the big wheel turns, and you see it's barely turning now, but when it really starts turning, you will see the mule's legs walking.
Don't say donkey.
You will see the mule's legs walking, and the man in the cart will be waving to you. So each one of these things, they're all wind powered. There's no mechanical involved at all, or no power involved, mechanics involved because of the way Vollis made them. But once the main wheel starts turning, everything on that starts turning, and it's wind blown, wind driven.
And what did Vollis do before he started doing this?
Vollis was born into a farm family. I think he had 7 or 8 siblings. Like everybody in Wilson, his family raised tobacco. And so they were farmers. Well, Vollis realized he didn't want to be a farmer. So he learned how to work on the farm equipment, and he learned how to weld. And from the time he was a young man, he was a welder. He repaired farm equipment. He built wreckers out of old Army surplus trucks. I mean, heavy duty wreckers. And he moved houses. He moved heavy equipment out of manufacturing plants here in Wilson. And a lot of the stuff you see on these Whirligigs is stuff that Vollis moved out of plants because they were getting new equipment, and they needed to, they had fully depreciated their old equipment, and they didn't want it. So they just, if Vollis wanted to keep it, he kept it. And one example, see this all this stuff over the years. And he started putting stuff together. He never really had, he had a diagram, but it was in his head. And I mean, he never had any formal training to do this. So he just started putting stuff together, and he'd add on some and add on some. And he built his first, he called them windmills. And he built his first windmill, growing all in them. He couldn't get on them and grease them and paint them like, and he realized that. But he never built them to sell them. He wanted to, you know, he enjoyed looking at them and enjoying people coming by and visiting with him. But anyway, we worked out a deal where we were able to acquire the Whirligigs. We moved them from Vollis's farm, moved them downtown into an old, my family owned the auto parts business downtown, and it was vacant. We had just had a tenant move out, and we moved them down there. Of course, we had to take them apart to move them. They're so big. The highway itself, it's really good. It lasts a half an hour, and it's been shown on UNC TV several times, and it's been entered in several film festivals, and it always wins an award. But it tells the whole story from beginning to end, and Vollis is in it, his children are in it, I'm in it, I mean a lot of local people in it, and the conservation team's in it. It's really well done.
Changes in the Wind.
Changes in, if you Google Changes in the Wind, PBS North Carolina, you can watch it on YouTube.
Okay, help me to remember that.
And if you go in the museum after we have our tour, there's 5 little snippets from it in there. You can mash a button and watch parts of it.
Okay.
And WRAL function. Jim Goodman came to Wilson and spoke. We got a lot of help. We had the lady that at the time was head of the National Endowment of the Arts. She came to Wilson. She wanted to see Whirligig. Wow. We've had every major foundation in the country help us. The Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, the Kaiser Foundation, the Kohler Foundation from Sheboygan, with and it's yard for 25 years. Let's just let them spin. And I mean, we've had some minor damage, but nothing major. And we've had no vandalism whatsoever.
Wow.
That's great.
When
my husband and I...
Vollis himself, the engineering of it is just unbelievable. Did he was this all on his own? Or was he trained at NC State at all? Did he have any formal education?
He had no training at NC State or anywhere else. He had no formal education, and he was a one-man show. He did every bit of it right by himself.